Family is the smallest unit of a society. But if you get overly identified with it, you will become a crime. You must understand this. All the crime on this planet, all the human crimes that we commit, only human beings commit crimes, nobody else does. What you call as evil, what you call as genocide, I'm going to the extreme words, what you call as prejudice, everything has come because of limited identifications that each one of us hold. This is my family, this is my race, this is my religion, this is my nation. It is from this all the terrible things happen on the planet, isn't it? People who are doing this, they believe at that moment they're just doing the right thing. This is what identity does to you. You need to understand the very structure of human intelligence. There are different dimensions of intelligence. Unfortunately, today in our education systems, we are exploring only one, which is the intellect. If I ask you a simple question, please you must answer this, because I'm going to bless you at the end of the answer. Would you want your intellect to be sharp or blunt?
Sharp. Blunt.
Because only if it's sharp, it works well, because it's a cutting instrument. Yes? It can only dissect. Now if you're using this intellect to do everything, to cut, it's okay. If you want to also stitch with it, you will be in tatters. Is that the reason why all the trousers are going into tatters? Essentially, a cutting instrument, if you try to use it on everything, it can cause a lot of misery. Right now, please see, for most of you, even though you're from Brooklyn, nobody ever stabbed you with a dagger, isn't it?
Not yet.
They ignored you. So, I'm asking, how much physical suffering has actually come from outside? Almost nothing. Rest is all in self-help. If you sit by yourself, why? Because we gave you a sharp intellect. If we had given you the brain of an earthworm, you would be fine. You would be fine. Yes or no? Right now, the problem is just this. We have a cerebral capability which most human beings have not learnt how to handle. Hello? You can call this stress, you can call this anxiety, you can call this misery, you can call this cruelty, you can call this murder, you can call this whatever. Essentially, all that's happened is your intelligence has turned against you, that's all. Why has this happened? Simply because of limited identities that you have taken. It may look like great, my family, my nation, it is all these people. See, if you're strongly identified with something, you're willing to die for it, isn't it? Hello? Yes. If you're willing to die for it, you're also willing to kill for it, yes or no? Hello? Yes. Whatever you're willing to die for, you're also willing to kill for. Isn't that the only problem we have on this planet right now? Everybody is willing to die for something, and everybody is willing to kill for something. It could be family, it could be nation, it could be race, religion, whatever. Is it not time that you upgrade your way of how you identify yourself? With what do you identify yourself? There was a tradition in traditional education in India. Before a child starts education, we believed that, even now, we do this to some extent, from 0 to 12 years of age, no any kind of learning. Just a child should play well, eat well, sleep well, because our intent is the brain should grow to a reasonable size before we load it with something. It's a sensible thing. Now today they want to do speed learning at the age of 3. Some people are saying when the mother is pregnant, how to teach the child mathematics. So till 12 years of age, we don't want to teach the child anything except to eat well, to play well, to sleep. Because these 3 things will decide how your body and your brain grows. So before we start education process, there is a thing called fixing the identity of the child. So one mantra that they will start chanting is Aham Brahmasmi. This means, my identity is cosmic, not even global. My identification is not with my family, not with my father and mother, not with my nation, not with my religion, but my identity is with the cosmos. See, if your identity is not with any limited thing, if you walked into this room, you actually have no problem with anybody, just like that. You may get into trouble later, that's a different matter. In transactions, friction can happen, but the moment I walk into the room, just looking at your face, I'm having problems. This is a different level of problem, isn't it? Hello? If I am identified with my nation or religion or race or whatever, the moment I step into this room, I already have a problem. Before I meet you, before I really have a chance to have trouble with you. When transactions begin, frictions can happen. That's a different matter. But just by looking at your face, I'm having trouble. This is because we are identified with something very limited. And the nature of your intellect is such, please look at this very carefully. Anything that you identify with, your intellect will strive very hard to protect that identity, always. And your intellect is like a knife, it cuts. Whether you physically pull out a knife and stab somebody, or you poke people with your intellect, it could equally hurt, isn't it so? Hello? Huh? Yes. Can you hurt somebody with your thought, your emotion, your idea, with your words and whatever else? Just the way you look at them, you can hurt them. So intellect is essentially a cutting instrument, a sharp instrument, because you said you want it sharp. I hope you kept it sharp. It's important to keep it sharp, otherwise it doesn't work. So, the moment you identify with something, your intellect is striving to protect that identity. Young people, it's very important that if you cannot imagine a cosmic identity, at least a global identity is a must for you. Otherwise, you being empowered by education, you are the source of future disasters. Yes, see, I want you to understand this. Why is it? Why is it all the cutting-edge technology first goes into military use? National identity, isn't it? Yes or no? The most powerful tools in the world are all designed how to eliminate you one day. So our brains are working to protect our identity all the time. Well, I don't want to get into any political stuff, but the wall may be a more clear manifestation, a more blatant manifestation of that, but essentially it's limited identity, isn't it? Why is it that I wouldn't like to kill my child, but if you are walking on the street to get $10 out of your pocket, I will slash you? Why? Because you're not mine, isn't it? Yes or no? My identity is only with this, not with that. So, one fundamental thing you must do, because all of you are in premier institutions getting empowered with education. Education is an empowerment. That means without education, what you could do, maybe you will do 100 times more with education. When you have such a possibility, it is very important. Your identity is not a limited identity. At least identify with the planet and all the life on this planet if you can't think of cosmic.